Shivram Swami Maharaj. I'll read the translation of the verse 10 and then we will read the commentary. O mind, offer your worship unto Sri Radhika, the beloved of Lord Hari. She outshines Rati, the wife of Kamadev, Gauri, the wife of Lord Shiva, and Leela, the potency of Lord Vishnu, by the effulgence of her beauty. She defeats Sachi, the wife of Indra, Lakshmi and Satya, Krishna's wife, by the waves of her good fortune. She defeats the pride of the newly married gopis of Braj, headed by Chandravali, through her power to control Krishna. So commentary by Shivram Swami Maharaj. The purport of this verse is one cannot attain the mercy of Krishna without approaching Srimati Radharani. Radharani is stated here to be more beautiful than Rati, who is the wife of Cupid, then Gauri, the wife of Lord Shiva, and Leela, meaning the pleasure potency of the Lord, more resplendent than Indrani, Indra's wife, or Lakshmi, Lord Narayan's wife, and Satyabhama in Dwarka. Radha is more expert in controlling Krishna than anyone else. How does this control Krishna? How does she control Krishna? We always hear Radhika is very beautiful. In the material world, beauty generally tends to be a material thing. But in the spiritual realm, beauty is an indication of love. The more one has love for Krishna, the more beautiful one is. Because Radharani has the greatest love for Krishna, she is the most beautiful. We glorify Radharani's beautiful features, or hear how Krishna is attracted to Radharani. Not because she is a nice looking girl, but because her beauty is reflecting her love for him. That love not only attracts Krishna, but is so intense, it makes him subordinate to Radharani. This is a concept which no one understands outside of the glory of the Vaishnava Sampradaya. Even great Acharya have difficulty understanding this. There is one particular story of when Jaidev Goswami was writing his Gita Govind. As he was writing, he was seeing within his heart what he wrote. And in one particular pastime, Radharani was very angry and wouldn't have anything to do with Krishna. As Jaidev was writing, he was saying that Krishna is bowing down, pleading with Radharani, and finally putting his head on Radharani's lotus feet. Jaidev Goswami just couldn't write this meditation down. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How can he put his head on the feet of this cowherd girl? With his mind in turmoil over this duality, Jaidev Goswami left his writing and went away. Then his wife saw that he returned very quickly and went back to his writing, and after some time, he again went away, and then some time later he returned. So when Jaidev Goswami came back the second time, his wife Padmavati asked him, "Why did you come back before?" He said, "Come back? When did I come back? I have been down at Ganga chanting Gayatri." She said, quote, "You went down to the Ganga, then I saw you come back." Unquote. She paused, her brow furrowing, and saying to Jaidev Goswami, quote, "Something is wrong here. Something is wrong with you, or something is going on." Unquote. So Jaidev Goswami asked, quote, "What did I do when I came back?" So she said, "You came back and went to your desk. I saw you going to your writing." Jayadeva went into where he was writing, and then he saw writing in handwriting that he couldn't have written. It says, "Put the birds of your beautiful feet, which destroy the snake poison of Kamadev, the god of love, on my head, making them my decoration. The sun's pain caused by Kamdev and intolerable to me gives me pain. May your fate remove those effects." So Jaidev could then understand from his handwriting that it was Krishna who had come and personally written in his pages. These dealings were very, very confidential. Even most Vaishnava can't understand them. Most Vaishnava would be upset, thinking, how is that possible? The answer is Krishna is giving his lotus feet to everybody. Yet he wants the lotus feet of Radharani's because she is actually Krishna's Ladini Sakti. She is the manifestation of Krishna's pleasure potency, and he is incapable of enjoying without her. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur gives a nice description of Srimati Radharani and some prayers. Rupa and Sanatan Goswami had an argument over one verse of the prayers quoted here. Rupa Goswami wrote, quote, "Your braids that are decorated with jewels and flowers give the appearance of a serpent's hood." Unquote. When Sanatan Goswami read this, he said to Rupa, quote, "You are comparing Radharani's hair to the black hood of the cobra. This is not such a good thing." Unquote. So Rupa Goswami replied, "Then how shall I compare it?" Sanatan Goswami responded, quote, "I don't know, but this is not a good thing." Unquote. So Rupa Goswami concluded as, quote, "Anyway, you are my spiritual master, so you should tell me." Unquote. So Sanatan Goswami goes walking, meditating on what Rupa had written, thinking of a more appropriate comparison. He walked for a long time and finally came to a lake where he saw young girls playing, and then from behind one of the girls, he saw a big snake coming. So he called out, watch out, look out for snake." And they all just laughed. And he still saw this big snake behind the girls. But all of a sudden, it just disappeared. Sanatan Goswami could understand that he saw Radharani with her girlfriends and realized that Rupa's description wasn't at all inappropriate. In that condition, her hair did look like the black hood of the cobra. So he went back and apologized to Rupa Goswami. Quote, "No, it's all right. You can write it down like that," unquote. So Bhakti Vinod's description of Srimati Radharani go on and on. Rupa Goswami's poetry is voluminous. That's the end of the commentary by Shivaram Maharaj. So tomorrow we will be dwelling the commentary by Sachinandan Swami Maharaj. So nice that we can hear so many commentary by different acharyas. Now we'll be dwelling in the life of Srila Prabhupada, whose life is so glorious that has laid down a path that we can follow in his footsteps. He is so kind and merciful. So I'll read one paragraph because we missed yesterday. To bring up to the speed, our memory is not that sharp. We are totally dull-headed. We need repetitions. So it's nice to read one paragraph. The devotees, it was inconceivable. Why had Prabhupada, in the middle of his talk, invited a crazy hippie onto the stage, given him a microphone and a seat, and then argued with him to the point of yelling and shouting, and all before an audience of 20,000 people. Haribol. So we continue. This incident is explained by Bhavananda in his own words, and there are so many other devotees also explain this situation in their own words. So Bhavananda, one man who had helped organize the pandal, protested. "Oh, Swamiji has gotten angry. This is not good." But Srila Prabhupada seems to have done it purposefully. He had spoken for a long time that evening on how to understand the Bhagavad Gita. And then he had this hippie brought on the stage, and it was bewildering to us. We couldn't figure it out. Giriraj Maharaj explained, Srila Prabhupada was actually using the entire incidents to illustrate the process of understanding Bhagavad Gita. After the men left, Prabhupada completed his lecture by stating that one must approach Krishna or Krishna's representative with a submissive attitude by serving and inquiring, not simply asking challenging questions. The whole incident had illustrated this point. Yadumar Prabhu is explaining in his word as follows. Many in the audience misunderstood the incident. It caused a split. But those who understand what Srila Prabhupada had done could see that this hippie was a rascal. And this had been a time for transcendental anger against his nonsensical opinions. Tejas Prabhu is explaining in his own word as follows. After everything was over, Prabhupada told us, quote, just as the gopis were lusty for Krishna, Arjuna would also get angry for Krishna. So it is not bad that a devotee becomes angry for Krishna. But many people in the crowd could not understand this point. How a devotee is not impersonal. The Indians are used to seeing impersonalist yogis who express no emotion. The audience was mostly impersonalist. The last night of the Pandal program, Srila Prabhupada spoke privately with James George, the Canadian High Commissioner. So Mr. George quote, "You have attracted so many Canadians and Americans." Prabhupada responded, I have, I have not attracted them. Krishna has attracted them. Mr. George, true, Prabhupada. Krishna is all attractive. I'm simply presenting the means of being attracted. That is my business. It is similar to the way a manager attracts iron. If the iron is rusty, however, then magnetic force cannot attract. Therefore, my business is to remove the dirt. And this process is Cheto Darpana Marjanam, cleansing the heart. Quote, at the present moment, every one of us is in a consciousness of thinking, I'm this body, Haribol. Because you were born in Canada, you are thinking you are Canadian. And because I was born in India, I'm thinking I'm Indian. And because he was born in America, he's thinking he's American. But none of us are American, Canadian, or Indian. We are living entities. Mr. George, I have no problem following all of that. How, though, is this change of consciousness to be brought about? For example, in the West. This, I take it, is your mission. Prabhupada responded by saying, there is no question of East and West. It is philosophy. It is science. In mathematics, for instance, 2 plus 2 equals 4. That is equally understandable in the West as well as East. It is not that 2 plus 2 in the West is 5 and 2 plus 2 in the East is 3. 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 everywhere. Quote, the first knowledge then that must be understood by human society is that we are not these bodies. It is very common knowledge. From this point, our spiritual knowledge can advance. If we do not know what spirit is, then what is the question of advancing in spiritual knowledge? After their conversation, Mr. George accompanied Prabhupada to the stage and introduced him to the crowd. Quote, for several years, I have been wanting to meet this Swami and see what it was about him that was affecting so many of our young people in Canada and North America. I was very happy this evening to come in response to your kind invitation, and especially to meet Swamiji. I think, as he himself says to me a short time ago, there is something really happening. Whether he is doing it or it is being done through him, as he said, it is beside the point. But there is something happening, and everyone who doubts that should be here tonight to see this. It is happening, not only here in Delhi, but it is happening in Toronto and Cleveland, Los Angeles, New York, and all sorts of places. What is it? I don't know how he would answer that question. For me, at a deeper level, what is happening is the awakening of a search. In his lecture, Srila Prabhupada compared the material body to a machine operated by a driver, the soul. And he spoke of the soul's natural position as servant of Krishna. Addressing Mr. George, Prabhupada concluded his speech. Quote, here our Honorable High Commissioner of Canada is present. I request that since you have come to our country, please try to understand this philosophy. I have traveled in your country in Canada also. And as you have already mentioned, we have got 5 branches: Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, Hamilton, and Ottawa. So the boys are struggling. They are distributing culture, these books, and I'm getting very encouraging reports. Many young men are also coming. It is a very scientific movement. So I request you to inform your government to give these boys facility to inject this Krishna consciousness movement in your country. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So this is the new topic now. After the successful 10-day Pandal festival, 700,000 had attended. Srila Prabhupada took his disciple on a short excursion to Vrindavan. His preaching tour had taken him to such places as Amritsar, Surat, Indore, Gorakhpur, Allahabad, and Banaras, but never to Vrindavan. With so many of his disciples gathered in Delhi for the festival, Prabhupada considered it an opportune time to travel to nearby Vrindavan. So they set out in 2 vehicles, Srila Prabhupada and 4 others in Mrs. Kamal Bakshi's ambassador, and 40 devotees following in a rented bus. Prabhupada remained silent during the ride out of the city, past the factories and through the agricultural fields, groves, and village along the Delhi-Agra road en route to Vrindavan. When, after a couple of hours, they approached the outskirts of Vrindavan, and Prabhupada directed the driver of his car to a village and into the center of a small town to a sweet water well. Here, Prabhupada and his party drank, took a breakfast of fresh fruit, and then continued on their way. Just before reaching Chhattisgarh Road, which leads directly into Vrindavan, Prabhupada's car broke down. So Tejas is explaining this incident in his word as follows. After Prabhupada's car broke down, he rode the rest of the way with us on the bus. Our relationship with Prabhupada was very reverential. Although we were in the most intimate situation, staying with him and traveling in a bus with him, Prabhupada never said anything about it. In those days, we were actually very much like a family. Prabhupada knew everyone, and everyone knew Prabhupada and would talk to him. But still, we were very reverential. In Vrindavan, a Mr. G.L. Saraf accommodated Prabhupada, his secretaries, and the women in the party at his house, Sarab Bhavan. The rest of the devotees stayed in a nearby dharmashala. Prabhupada had come to Vrindavan for more than just a pilgrimage. He had come to try and secure land for ISKCON. When in 1967 he had come to Vrindavan for America, he had come to recuperate. But on recovering his health, he had looked for a place in Vrindavan for his disciples. He had tried to establish an American house, a center where his disciple could live in Vrindavan's ideal atmosphere and receive training in Krishna consciousness culture and then go out and preach. But after 2 months of a little prospect for establishing his American house, he had left. So this time, however, Prabhupada was coming to Vrindavan as that city's famous ambassador to the world, renowned for propagating the glories of Radha Krishna and Vrindavan in the West. The success of the Hare Krishna movement was being widely publicized in India, as Prabhupada and his band of foreign disciples traveled from city to city, holding kirtan, lecturing from Srimad Bhagavatam, and telling of Krishna consciousness in the West. So when Prabhupada arrived in Vrindavan with 40 disciples, the entire town heralded his presence. The municipality of Vrindavan arranged a formal reception attended by prominent local citizens and sadhus. A smoke pen for the city praised Srila Prabhupada and his accomplishment. O great soul, today we, the inhabitants of Vrindavan, known as Brajavasis, all combinedly offer our humble welcome to your holiness in this holy place of Vrindavan. And in doing so, we feel very proud. For many years, you stayed in the Radha Damodar temple and worshipped Her Majesty Srimati Radharani in a meditative mood. And thus, you now have the transcendental vision to deliver the entire world. As proof of your perfections, we can see these foreign devotees before us. And we feel very proud to see how you have transformed them into such pure devotees. O great preacher of Vedic culture, formerly a great many Swamis went to foreign countries, but now you have wonderfully preached the Sankirtan movement and the sublime philosophy of Bhakti cult in the Western countries. And that is the only means for giving peace and prosperity to all people of the world in this age. For preaching religion and culture, your holy name will remain ever dazzling. To speak frankly, we feel a very intimate relationship with you, and we feel perfect satisfaction at this time in the privilege to present you this address of welcome. We take it for granted that you are one of us in Vrindavan. We are sure that wherever you travel, you must carry with you the impression of Sri Vrindavan Dham. The culture, religion, philosophy, and transcendental existence of Sri Vrindavan Dham travel with you. Through the great message Your Holiness carries, all the people of the world are now becoming very intimately related with Vrindavan Dham. We are certainly sure that through your preaching alone, the transcendental message of Vrindavan will spread all over the world. May you be crowned a success in these noble activities. So we should stop here. Should be punctual in our practices. And before the devotees leave, we would like to offer our humble obeisances at the desk of the Lotus Feet for their continued support and keeping us enthused to join early in the morning. So let's offer our humble obeisances by uttering the prayer. Vanchakalpatarubhasya kripasindhubhaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Thank you very much. Again, we are eternally grateful for your